Have you ever really thought about how much of your thoughts and your beliefs and ideals are really your own, or where they come from? Think about that for a minute. I mean, a lot of people like to think that, their beliefs, ideologies, their understanding, their thoughts are their own, and that these are things that make up the person. There's a part of interpretation and perception that plays into that, to where there's a personal spin that's put on it. But really, when you get down to it and you look into things, much of what a person becomes is at the hands of education, and then societal pressures, peer pressures, conditioning. Now, a lot of people don't like to admit that because it kind of gives up the idea of control of oneself. But in my own personal opinion, until you reach that conclusion to where you're strong enough in order to tear your ideologies and your beliefs apart and be able to put them back together with your own justifications and your own real thoughts and understandings, that it's a slippery slope. But the difficulty is trying to figure out what is actually yours and what someone or something you trusted has put in your head. Now, there's a real easy way to figure this out, at least to be able to figure out the amount of your actual conditioning. And again, this comes in the ability to be okay with looking at your own conclusions and, checking them every now and then and questioning, how did I arrive at that? Why do I believe it is that way? It's almost like a constant reevaluation, and a lot of people don't do this. For one, because of conditioning and the fact that most people don't realize how this works and that it does happen and goes on, they see no reason to. So, it'd probably be a good idea if more people understood this, and then we as a society and a nation could maybe push back against some of the psychological games that they play on us almost daily. And the stuff comes from everywhere. You got marketers trying to get in your head and, plan ideas and reasons and justifications as to why you should want this thing that they're trying to sell, or that other thing, or why you should support this or that. And a lot of it is just really psychological mind games, and it's really easy for a person to lose themselves and not even realize it. So let's use an example. Terrorism. When that word is spoken, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Now, I'm just going to wait a couple seconds to let you think about that. For a lot of people, terrorism, they're thinking about a foreign person strapping a bomb to themselves, or strapping a bomb to something and killing a lot of people. Reality. The real, actual definition of the word is the use of violence and intimidation in the pursuit of political aims. Nothing in the word at all, by definition, that suggests anything about a foreign, dark-skinned person using bombs. But usually, that's what comes to mind. Or incidents like 9/11, or now, most recently, the Boston Marathon bombing. This is how the conditioning happens. It's stuff that they end up pushing through mainstream media that constantly causes people, through repetition and their scripting, to associate certain things with certain words. Subconsciously, you wind up doing exactly what they want, and you don't even realize it. Why? Because one, you never realize they're doing it, and two, if you don't realize they're doing it, you can't really do anything in order to block it. Beyond that, using the terrorism example, even using the definition, most of you are still conditioned. Why? Because even after hearing the definition, at this point in time, most of you are assuming that the use of violence and intimidation in the pursuit of political aims applies to someone from a foreign land or outside of politics. And for us here in America, that would be outside of government, as being the ones that are perpetrating the terrorism. But again, that's not what the definition says. It doesn't place a limiting factor on it. There is no limiting factor that says that it has to be external, and there's nothing that says that, oh, wait a minute, that it has to be internal either. See, here's the thing. Terrorism, for one, is a fear motivator. Secondly, people in fear, they want to, feel all warm and fuzzy and protected again. So they become willing to do different things that, normally they might not have done. And because of the whole idea of, protection in that, they're in the fear, they're not necessarily thinking rationally. We see this in the Boston situation recently where, two teams basically, don't bother nitpicking specifics on this, please. I'm aware the older brother was a little more than a team. Can we not nitpick? I mean, they went through pretty much stripping of their civil liberties and rights. They went into a lockdown situation, and they're cheering. A lot of us on the outside looking in at that, we saw the dry run of a police state lockdown. And the reaction of the masses, well, let's just say, as things are continued to be pushed. Don't be surprised if you don't see similar in a few more large cities, just to see if the majority of the nation will put up with it. I have yet to see any lamestream media bring this point across. Now, alternative media is all over it, and they're bringing out the suggestions of, what just happened there. The fact of the basic martial law, not even formally declared. House-to-house searches, no warrants. When you start allowing the conditioning to affect you to the point where you start justifying those little slips, where does those slips stop? Now, a lot of you are going to look at this and say, well, they were trying to catch the terrorists. Look, there's a lot of fishy shit going on with this. Just like there was with 9/11, just like there was with Sandy Hook, just like there was with the Batman shit. A lot of fishy shit with this. And I'm telling you, my gut tells me, looking at the progression and the way things have been going, they are trying to see what the masses will allow to trigger a lockdown, to completely strip them of all their civil liberties, the Constitution itself. Because in Boston, they threw that right the hell out the window. They burnt that fucker up, bottom line. And there ain't a single one of you watching this that can dispute that, because you know damn well they did. Now, for some of you that are younger, this shit may look normal to you because it's the only thing you've known. But I'm telling you, even back in 1989, when my ass joined the Navy as a medic, and the Persian Gulf shit and all that was going on at the time, stuff like you're seeing today never happened on American soil. Listen to that one more time. Like what just happened in Boston, even back in 9/11, it didn't happen. Never. Why now? We had terrorists that blew 2 buildings up, supposedly, on 9/11. And New York City did not have the kind of lockdown that Boston had. Why? They had no damn way of knowing at 9/11 whether there were still terrorists floating about or not. When you look at the wider picture on this, I'm telling you, given their gun grab bullshit and the type of ones that are pushing it, and given the whole situation where it seems like everything they're trying to use in order to push it isn't working, they just keep on trying to ratchet that fear and pressure up a couple more notches. exactly what they're doing. They want the gun control, and they're not getting it. There's still too many of us that realize that the regulations on a tool are pretty much asinine. I see one of two things happening with this. They're going to ratchet it up to the point where we're going to wind up being in each other's throats, because the ones that see what's going on and refuse to give in, which at this point in time, pretty much the majority, and why it's not happening, you other ones that don't see it, yeah, you're going to start getting nasty. And then ones like me that realize it for what it is, and realize that no damn words on paper are going to fix this, because that's not the root issue, for one. And secondly, the law-abiding citizens aren't the ones that are doing this shit to begin with. We're going to wind up being forced to defend ourselves from you guys because of your conditioning, and they are going to manipulate you guys into trying to press us, because you just can't handle anymore the depths of depravity these assholes will go to in order to try to get what they want. The terrorists in this situation, the FBI connections again with this shit in Boston, are from within. So you really need to start checking your conditioning and make sure that your end stuff and your conclusions and your ideologies and your beliefs are really your own, and not shit that they have been feeding into your head through repeated repetition, movies, and bullshit in order to get you to think that things are something they're not. Because terrorism, by definition, like I just said, doesn't have a damn thing to do with foreign people and bombs. It has to do with political agendas and what is being manipulated with all this shit that they're pulling. Political agendas. They're using every damn one of these things as justification for political agendas to further infringe the freedoms, civil liberties, and rights of American citizens. And most of you are falling for their bullshit. Simply because you're letting yourself be led around by your conditioning, and you're letting them lead you through your emotions, and you're playing right into exactly what these assholes want. Because you think the little games now are bad? Wait until they have the gun grab in place that they want. And when they do that, it will be too damn late. The bulk of you need to stop. You need to start using your heads. If people actually did die, it's a sad thing. And I hope that the ones that are really responsible for this, because I'm sorry, it sure as hell ain't those two Chechnyan teens. They had assistance. And it wasn't some damn terror cell organization either. It was their damn FBI handlers, along with the copious frickin' asshats, paramilitary, that have been seen in countless video footage and pictures that have been released from this. This is not foreign, this is not external, people. A lot of people are starting to wake up. Congress is at an approval rating far below anything that it's ever been before. Less and less people are looking at television news and finding it to be credible. Okay? They know the shit is about to come unhinged. Their control is coming to an end. And they are pushing every piece and every bit of psychological game that they can in order to keep it intact and convince people to willfully give up their civil liberties, their rights, the Constitution, and their arms. Make no mistake about it. This is the reality. Look at the pattern. Look at their use of every single damn thing. What do they push right after it comes out? They couldn't get the gun grab. Obama all pissed off on TV because, oh, they caved into... No. More bullshit. They want people to believe that the bulk of the citizenry is for gun control. What? Just because these lying assholes say that that's what it is, that's what it really is? I mean, with all the lies that these asshats have fed us, and a lot of the damn Congress people that are in there right now were in during the whole bullshit of weapons of mass destruction that got us into what war? And you're still going to believe these asshats? Don't fall for it. All of you out there that know what's going on and you know why this can't happen, don't let that shit get to you. Stand your ground. Keep putting it out there the way you've been putting it out there. Keep answering the question the same damn way. Don't deviate. The bulk and majority do not want. If they did, it would have happened. It's not. Come on. Frickin' NRA is gonna... Yeah. My ass. It wasn't the NRA that ended up pushing it in order to prevent it. It's Congress people waking the hell up and knowing damn well that this is an issue American citizens are not going to budge on. And if they go against this, there ain't no amount of PR that can be done that is going to erase what they have done in this from the memory of the citizenry. This is one they have no damn choice but to follow. They'll lie about it. But you see, if they pull this shit, and that's why they haven't yet, they know. They come next election cycle, every damn one of them that voted for it, the majority of the people, and just about probably every damn gun owner in the United States, and there's a shitload of them, isn't going to vote for that congressperson. This is one they can't hide. They can lie about it. They can try to pump that shit up on lamestream media with all the lies in the world. But if that was really fact, it's not. If it was really fact that the bulk and majority of the people wanted it, what the NRA supposedly did wouldn't have fucking mattered. That's reality. But it is also another telling tale. Well, gee, the bulk of the majority of the people wanted it, and you guys wussied out of it. Well, gee, doesn't that just prove that you don't listen jack shit to the people on anything else? Yeah. Just something for you to think about. Drop your conditioning. When they start offering the bullshit, if you got to, look in a dictionary. Think of what's popping into your head when they mention it. Go to a dictionary and look up the definition. And if what you read in the dictionary and definition doesn't match what popped in your head, you know you've been conditioned. Think about it.